All right, so we're going to talk about special parallelograms. There are two in particular, and kind of a third. And I think some of you already know the names, but we have a rhombus. Thing about a rhombus is that all the sides are equal. And if all these sides are equal, then the diagonal will bisect the two angles of the rhombus. Also, this has to be a 90-degree angle for it to be a rhombus. So, assuming this is a rhombus, we would know that this is 90. We would know 90 plus x plus 14 equals 180. I'm going to minus 90 and minus 14 at the same time, which hopefully you all understand is 104. That is 2x, which would equal 76. If we divide that by 2, that is 38, so x equals 38. And then let's look at this. What is CDA? CDA is this full angle here. Well, since a rhombus bisects the two angles, that means this has to be the same as this side. So if I plug 38 in for x, 38 plus 14 is 52. Multiply it by 2, that means my angle has to be 104 degrees. So that is the tricks about rhombi. Then we have diagonals of a rectangle are congruent for a rectangle. So we know that, for example, this would equal this, which equals this, which equals this, because it's still bisected. Well, it's still cut in half because rules about parallelograms, right? So that we know x and y are both equal to 8 because each half has to be the same. Okay? And to find AC, obviously 8 and 8 makes 16. Okay? Determine what quadrilateral rectangular rhombi that can be described by the following situation. So we know it has congruent diagonals, meaning this length is equal to this length, and one angle of 60 degrees. Okay? So if that full angle is 60, no, that can't be what that means. Okay, well, if it has congruent diagonals, I know immediately it's a rectangle. And I'm going to assume, even though I wrote this, I forgot, that it's saying this angle is 60 degrees, which would mean this is 30, which means this is not bisected, so it cannot be a rhombi. Okay? But the congruent diagonals tells me immediately it has to be a rectangle. Has perpendicular diagonals and 4 right angles? Well, so we know that the diagonals are perpendicular. That informs us it's a rhombi. 90-degree angles means that we have right angles in the corner. And the only thing that has right angles in the corner is a square, but any square is technically also a rectangle. So it'd be a rhombi, square, rectangle, all of them. Okay? There is something called squaring up to build frames and playing field boundaries. So what they can do is they can take their boards and lay them out, and they can measure from corner to corner. If those lengths are equal, they know that they are building a rectangular shape. That is a nice, easy trick that you can use to make sure you have a 90-degree angle in the corner and to make sure you have at least a rectangle. Obviously, to make it a square, all you have to do is measure the same sides, right? We'll do this one real quick. If that's a rectangle, what is MZ? Well, that would be this length, 10 and 24. Well, we're going to use a squared plus b squared equals c squared, so 10 squared. Ooh, I have the line tool, sorry. 10 squared plus 24 squared equals my c squared, which would be the full length there. It's 100 plus, what is 24 squared? 576, which would equal 676, which square rooted I believe is 26. I don't want degrees. So that full length is 26. So since Z has to be halfway in the middle, that would make MZ be 13. Okay, MO, obviously we just found is 26. Okay, is this figure down here a rhombus? So they're saying CAD, which would be this angle, is 23.984. And BAD is this one, which is 21.016. Now, some of you may say you don't know how to figure this out, but the trick is that if it's a rhombus, then these small angles, well, first off, this needs to be bisected, right? Was this angle bisected? No. So I know immediately it's not a rhombus. But even if I would have told you this angle and this angle, you just have to do the math to figure out if this was 90 in the middle, right? Which it's not either way. So no, it is not a rhombus because those angles do not add up to 90, or are not equal to each other as a rhombus would need. Okay? I keep thinking I'm clicking out. I'm not. Is this one a rhombus? Well, there are no measurements, but we can count this. So it's over 4 up, that's supposed to be 9. Huh. Over 4 up the same amount. That's interesting. I didn't realize that line was off. Oh, we don't need to know. It doesn't matter. This is 90 degrees. If that's 90 degrees, we do have a rhombus. That works out well. So then what does BAC have to be? Well, this has to be bisected, so that's 30 degrees. BDC would be this angle, which would be half of the full angle. Well, I know this is 90. 90 plus 30 is 120. This would have to be, I don't know what the 1 was for. This has to be 60, so would this one. This has to be 60 as well. And then BXA, well, we know that all those are 90 because it's a rhombus. Okay? So I believe that's all. Yep. If there are any questions on this, you can always email me or come see me. Otherwise, have a good evening, and I will see you soon.